be lit. Should be good. Give it a couple of seconds to load.
Yeah, yeah. Let me know when you're about to start.
Got you. Just want to make sure it's on. People can watch it. I want to make sure people are.
Okay.
It's on. We're gonna start with disappointing teams. All right.
Oh, word. Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good. What else do we got? Disappointing teams. Franchise of any player. Wait, what do you?
Wait, we're
I'm
live.
not gonna
Sauce.
like.
We're sauce. We're live.
Oh,
So
okay, go, 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 go. My bad.
now keep talking, but like no one's on right
No,
now.
no, no.
But
It's not related. Don't worry about it.
got you. Good that I caught you then.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Sheesh. All right, bro.
All right, you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right. Welcome back to Ballaholics, the show for those who simply can't get enough of basketball. I'm your host, Sam Israel. Filling in for our other co-host, Ian Mills, we got no other than Sauce. Sauce, great to have you on the show as always, man.
Yeah, man. Great to be back, Sam. Thanks for having me.
You've been staying safe during this pandemic, man? You've been staying safe?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been as safe as I can, masks on, everything like that. How about you?
I've been good. I've been doing good, man. I like your background, bro.
Thanks, bro. I'm repping Ballaholics. That's how
Of
we
course,
do it
bro.
here.
That's what you gotta be doing, bro. That's what you gotta be doing.
One
So
day we'll have the big green screen.
one day, man, if we make it to the big leagues. Appreciate you guys tuning in to Ballaholics. I believe this is our 4th time going live, and it looks like we're finally getting the hang of it. You guys can
Let's
hear
go.
me. You guys can hear Sauce. If you can't hear me or Sauce, you guys aren't having the audio problem. It means that I didn't do something right on my screen
Yeah, please
because
tell us.
we've had problems in the past couple of live episodes where people cannot hear us. So make sure if you cannot hear us, write down in the chat, in the live YouTube chat. Also, you haven't done so already, which you guys already should have done. Make sure to show some love and follow the Ballaholics Instagram, Ballaholics_BTV6. This is a sports show platform, a debate show, so I want you guys to call in, and I'm going to discuss right now how you guys are going to be able to call in tonight. So if you go to the YouTube bio, I laid down the instructions for you guys to call into the show. We're going to talk about our segments for the show, and then once we are finished talking, me and Sauce, we will open it up to live callers, so you guys will be able to come in, tune in, and voice your opinions for me and Sauce. So pretty excited for that, Sauce.
Yeah, bro. I'm excited for that too. I mean, that's gonna be awesome. Hopefully, get some good callers. I'm actually texting my family, seeing if they want to join. So we'll see. Maybe they'll hop on.
Yeah, man. And once you guys call, we're just gonna ask that you guys state your name. State your name. So be like, what's up? My name is Mike from Long Island. Just state where you're from. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm Bill Nye. I'm from
Yeah,
the
Bill
U.S.
Nye,
Bill Nye
the
the Science
science
Guy.
guy.
You never know. All right, so let's get on.
Yeah.
We're gonna get on with our first segment without further ado. So for our first segment, we're gonna go back in time to the last decade. So basically, me and Sauce, we're gonna select our team that we feel like disappointed most of our fans. So most fans. So they had a high expectation to the team, and they didn't succeed. They didn't fulfill their expectations. Sauce, which team in your eyes was a very disappointing team in the last decade?
Oh man, I might get a lot of flack for this because I don't think it's what you would expect on paper. Because the team I'm talking about has won the NBA championship 2 times. But to me, the most disappointing team this
The
decade
most.
has been. Oh, am I breaking out?
No, I hear you.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
The most disappointing team this decade has been the Miami Heat. Yes, the Heatos are the most disappointing team for me this decade. No. Before you get crazy, before I know you're probably thinking, what is this guy talking about? Well, let's take a step back and let's think. Because when we say disappointed, we say we had high expectations and they failed those expectations, okay? We dreamed of bigger things and that didn't live up to that, okay? Now, the Heat was a great team. I mean, they got 2 championships. That's more than a lot of teams could ask for, right? But what were we promised, Sam? We were promised 2 championships? No, we were promised not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, maybe 7, maybe 8, and we get 2 championships. Now, if we're going to pick a single season, I think 2011 Miami Heat is arguably one of the most disappointing seasons for a super team. You have LeBron James, who joins Dwayne Wade, and then they team up with Chris Bosh as well, a perennial all-star, probably 2 of the top 5 players, and then Bosh is a top 15 player, and they lose in the finals. in historic fashion. I mean, the Heat had everything they could do. They had all the tools to win that championship, and they fell flat. They didn't fall flat because they got beat by a superior team. Okay, the Miami Heat, if LeBron James played at one half of his average play style, they would have won. It would have been like 5 or 6 games. Instead, we see what happens. Dirk Nowitzki, splashing threes all over the Miami Heat. And, Dwayne Wade was actually the best player on the Heat. It wasn't even LeBron James. He might have been the second best player on that team. So to me, I think that he should have had at least 3 championships. And you saw when they lost to the Spurs, they lost that finals by the biggest margin in finals history. So there's one thing to lose, but they got blown out. So for me, I didn't get 8 championships. I got 2. And to me, that's a disappointment. You're talking about arguably the second greatest player of all time, and now we're getting this. So I think the Miami Heat was the second most disappointing team, or the most disappointing team of this decade.
Man, yeah, the Miami Heat were so disappointing, man. They didn't win anything. It's not like they won 2 championships back to back in 2012 and 2013. No, we're just gonna forget about that. We're just gonna forget that they won those 2 NBA titles. They're so disappointing. Look, Sauce,
yes,
I understand. They said not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5.
Exactly.
I think if LeBron James stayed in Miami, we would have saw them win possibly another one.
And I don't think so.
Listen, Sauce, we're talking about the most disappointing team. The biggest disappointing team, a team that had 0 titles. The Los Angeles Clippers, Lob City.
Oh,
yes, and you can see it on my screen. You see, I already had it ready. I had the background ready because you already know the Los Angeles Clippers are the most disappointing team of the last decade. This Los Angeles Clippers
so
team,
why do you think that?
This Los Angeles Clippers team, Sauce, was loaded from the top to the bottom. Chris Paul was their top-tier all-star, was arguably a top 4 player when he got traded to the Clippers after the trade to Los Angeles Lakers got vetoed. Okay? Then they had Blake Griffin, who was well in his prime. I mean, he was an athletic monster. He was a freak of nature, the way he was able to leap up and just soar in the sky. DeAndre Jordan, another tall, athletic guy. Amazing rebounder, amazing shot blocker, and just can catch alley-oops, left and right from Chris Paul. They all had their distinct role. You had Chris Paul, the playmaker, who's going to go down as one of the greatest point guards to ever play the game. Blake Griffin, who is an athletic monster. DeAndre Jordan. Not to also mention, you did have a third option at J.J. Redick. J.J. Redick is an underrated player on the Los Angeles Clippers team. He averaged 16 points, I believe, in 2015. And they had shortcomings past those 3 or 4 years. So the biggest season for me, for the Los Angeles Clippers, was the 2015-2016 season. They won 56 games, and they were there. They were there to win the title. They were one of the favorites to win the title. There were many teams getting eliminated. All they had to literally do were defeat the Rockets in the second round, and they were finally going to break the Los Angeles Clippers curse. Sauce, they were up 3-1 against the Houston Rockets. James Harden wasn't even on the floor. They were up by 19 points. All they have to do is just keep the lead. James Harden isn't even playing. But no, Josh Smith.
Oh yeah, Josh
Corey
Smith's like
Booker
legendary.
light it up. They combined for 38 points in the fourth quarter. The Houston Rockets outscored the Los Angeles Clippers in the fourth quarter 40-15. That's a 30-point margin in the fourth quarter.
That's ridiculous.
If I've ever seen choking, that was it right there. It was super disappointing. I thought they had not only top-tier players, they had superstars, they had all-stars, and they had a great bench. They had role players. They had the sixth man of the year, three-time sixth man of the year in Jamal Crawford, and you still can't find a way to even make it to one conference finals. We're not even talking about titles at this point, Sauce. You can't even make it to the conference finals.
I'll say that's the OG 3-1 choke. I mean, people like to talk about, even the Thunder or the Golden State Warriors. That is the OG 3-1 choke. But I will say this, Sam. Do you know why that happened? Because as much as I love CP3, he's not that superstar that you need in the playoffs. I love CP3, but he's not that superstar. You look at, when CP3 went to the Rockets. Now, he was slightly out of his prime. He was definitely, not prime CP3. But you saw he was the second option to James Harden. Now,
okay, so we saw in that Spurs game. We saw in the Spurs game in 2015-2016 when the Spurs were the 6th seed. It was Game 7, and Chris Paul in the last 30 seconds hit that clutch shot. You can say a lot of things about Chris Paul.
Clutch is great.
You can say a lot of things about Chris Paul.
But Sam, he's never been able to break that ceiling though. I mean,
Oh,
he couldn't even make it past the second round before he went to the
so
Rockets.
you're
Like
gonna
you
throw
said,
all that blame on Chris Paul?
I'm not gonna blame all of it because the Clippers also had insanely unlucky injury luck. Blake Griffin was extremely prone to injury. We already know that, and it seems like the same way with the Thunder. Anytime that they're ready to contend, one of their star players got injured. Now, I feel like that team was built for the regular season. That's why they win 50 games, 56 games consistently. But in the playoffs, they'd always, they didn't have that superstar. So while they never made a conference finals and they should have been able to at least make it there, let alone like a finals appearance, I can't see it. I mean, like, if you look at it, they're lacking that true superstar. And again, as great as CP3 is, I think they need that one true superstar that can take over. CP3 is more of a delegator. That's my only reason against it. Which would
Sorry,
have
you
been
couldn't hear me.
Blake Griffin.
You couldn't hear me.
Oh,
I said
is it?
they need a wing player. They need a go-to scorer in the final moments. And Chris Paul's more of a playmaker.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't buy that. I think Chris
exactly.
Paul,
And
when it came time, Chris Paul was a clutch player. I don't think you can take that away from him. I think the problem was in the locker room.
You think the locker room issues? I mean, they did have locker room issues.
Doc Rivers was the head coach, the president, and the general manager. And when he brought in Austin Rivers, his own son, there was chatter in the locker room. They weren't sure if that was fair if you're a player. Because think about it. He got thrown a $10 million contract, Austin Rivers, and they wanted to sign Nate Robinson. Wow. This is a story from Matt Barnes' podcast that I listened to earlier. It was on Matt Barnes. JJ Redick was on the podcast, and they were saying that Doc Rivers, not a lot of players were speaking of him lightly. There were a lot of locker room issues. I think that's what ultimately derailed them. However, that, for me, has to be the most disappointing team.
I could see that. I mean, I think also, like you said about that, nepotism, I think there's probably something that people hate more than nepotism. When people get in just because they know somebody rather than they're just, good. And Austin Rivers is not a bad player, but I don't think he was worth $10 million back then.
I agree.
So I can understand that. I mean, there was even locker issues, I think, with Chris Paul himself, though, So you got to keep in mind, it was a team-wide toxic culture. And there was, reported, James Harden and Chris Paul had their own issues. So you kind of wonder, what's actually the cause of this.
I mean,
now if you look at the Clippers are the most... Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to forget Chris Paul tried sneaking in when he was a Rocket. He tried sneaking into the locker room.
He did, yes.
All right.
And I think it's, this is just conjecture, but it seems a lot of passive-aggressive kind of, I'm telling you how to play kind of thing where, you're one of the best players in the world. Oh, is it better now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So you're one of the best players in the world. You've always been the alpha. You don't want to delegate to somebody else. You don't want to listen to other people. It's just a hard position to be in. So, you look at that because Chris Paul knows how the game should be played, but it's a matter of people would listen to him or not.
I agree.
And I don't know how much you can blame him and how much you can blame the other people.
I do agree.
But overall, I would still say the Heat. Yeah, I mean, I could see Clippers is right there in terms of disappointment because I wanted them to at least make the finals. And the fact that CP3 has still never made a finals is crazy to me.
I agree.
Our worst players have made the finals in recent history.
100% Sauce.
But overall, to me, that 2011 choke.
I don't mean to cut you off, Sauce. I just want to open it up to live callers at this point. No. So, and Sauce, your audio is sort of breaking in. It's coming in and out. So just while we have this live caller, use that as an opportunity just to fix your audio. So we're going to go accept this next person.
Let me see what's going on.
We're going to accept this person as a live caller. Oh, no, actually... We had them and they disappeared. It looks like.
No way.
Oh, we lost our one live caller for the show.
Wait, can you tell me? Can you send me the YouTube link? Because I'm actually on the Zoom link. It's not working.
You're on the Zoom link. The Zoom link's not working.
Oh, actually, wait, no. Sorry. My bad. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah, it looks like we had someone that was calling live, and for whatever reason, we don't see that person now as a participant. So. It's very unfortunate. Maybe they will call back in the future. Hopefully they call back.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I think we're good now. But before
we
were
having some
problems. So
okay, good.
If you guys are watching, definitely check us out. Call into the chat if you have something to say. You want to show, talk, and you have a viewpoint. Which for you guys, we want to hear it. What team did we forget about? What team did we forget about? I think the Clippers were good.
Probably
I think the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat weren't bad. They weren't bad only because of the expectations they had. Because LeBron's
they did great
MJ's stature.
in a vacuum.
So
exactly. It's like we expect so much because they're such great players, you know.
Yeah.
So again, disappointing. They didn't do bad. In a vacuum, they did awesome, you know.
All right, we got
But
people
again,
calling in, Sauce. They're back. They're back.
okay,
I
let's
don't mean
do
to
it.
interrupt you. So
No,
we're
no,
gonna
go for it. Go for it.
we're gonna go
Take
to our
those.
first live caller. Just state your name and where you're from. What's going on? What's going on, man? You're live with Ballaholics. How you doing, man?
Good. How's it going?
Doing good, man. So wait, so just state your name and just where you're from, man.
Mike from the Cove.
Hey, so I like to hear, Mike. So what are you thinking, Mike? What are you thinking about the most disappointing NBA team of the last decade?
Well, I just want to say first thing, I definitely don't agree with what Sauce said.
Oh damn, Mike.
But I mean, it's hard to win a championship, and let alone to like LeBron
It's true.
said that because they were hyped and stuff, and they want to get the crowd involved. But he did bring 2 chips there. Sam, I agree, but don't agree with your choice. I understand why you said the Clippers, but I'm gonna have to go with OKC.
Wow.
When you have KD, who people argue he's better than LeBron, he's not, but he's clear cut number 2. Like in 2016, they're up 3-1 on Golden State. All you have to do is win one game, and then it's OKC versus the Cavs. That's anybody's finals. KD doesn't leave to join the Warriors. LeBron's not 3-6 in the finals, and KD doesn't have 2 cheap free rings. That's just me. So.
Yeah, OKC I think is a great choice too. I mean, 3 eventual MVPs on one team and only made the final one time.
Yeah, I mean, I can't dispute what Saul said. Yeah, Mike, sorry, I want to cut you off. Hello?
Oh yeah, no, I had to finish my thought. Yeah.
Yeah, I also
Good,
think one thing with the Thunder that kind of sucked is they had like poor injury luck, and I mean I agree with you on the 3-1 choke though to Golden State. I mean Golden State's a great team, so it's not
That's a
100%
good one. I
choke,
like that one too.
But you look at Game 6, Game 6 and 7 though. Russell Westbrook and KD really shot them out of the game with the hero ball, so that was really disappointing to see because if they just played their team tempo, they would have had it.
My one thing, Mike, just to respond to you real
they
quick.
had to win one game.
Mike, just to respond to you real quick. I understand where you're coming from with OKC Thunder. However, at least they made it to the conference finals, and they made it to the NBA finals once. That team with James Harden, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and even after that without James Harden, they at least were respectable. They beat the San Antonio Spurs in, I believe it was 2016. It was the season before Kevin Durant joined the Warriors.
They had 67 wins.
The Spurs had 67 wins, you said? So they still beat a formidable team. Now, the Los Angeles Clippers lost to this Houston Rockets team in 2015-2016, and they weren't bad, but they weren't a top-tier team. The Los Angeles Clippers never even got to make it to the conference finals, so that curse was still intact. So just for that reason, that's why I believe the Clippers more so than the Thunder.
Fair points. I mean, either way, we can agree that either the Clippers could have stopped the Golden State's, eventual dynasty if they would have won, because if the Clippers are versus Golden State, the Clippers had their number. The Clippers are going to go to the finals. Or OKC could have stopped, Golden State's, championship free kind of run.
And I thought OKC. Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. I didn't mean to
You got deferred like Paul George and Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, I know. Got deferred. But yeah, no, I think OKC was right there to stop Golden State, like you said. I mean, they said after 2016 they were supposed to add like Al Horford to their team, and I mean they were already right there. I mean, I thought if KD stayed, the Thunder was easy finals contender. So I think KD leaving also did that too.
So it's pretty interesting, Mike, to your point, just because when the Clippers lost in 2015-2016. That was the first season. Oh, sorry, the 2014-2015 season. That's what I was talking about. That was the year when the Clippers lost to the Rockets. My apologies. But that year, that was the first year that Golden State was a real respectable team under Steve Kerr. Now, the Clippers were the only team prior to that to actually beat this Golden State team. They beat them in the playoffs twice before that. They beat them in 2013, or maybe it was 2014. They beat them once or twice. But the Clippers were the Warriors' kryptonite, in my opinion. I thought that if the Clippers beat the Warriors in 2015, then the Clippers would have beaten the Rockets in 2015. The Clippers would have had an absolutely would have had a great chance to beat the Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry and Steve Kerr.
Oh, yeah, definitely, without a doubt. I feel the Clippers would have won in 6 at most. They wouldn't have won 7.
All right, Mike. Great to have you on the show, man. We got another live caller coming up, so I'm going to have to get you off. But thanks for calling in, man.
Right.
Keep in tune.
No worries. You got it, bro.
Awesome.
Oh man, who do you got now? We got another caller.
All right, let's see.
I told my. Oh
Yeah,
my
so
god.
we got
my
another
dad.
live caller. So what's going on, man? You're live with Ballaholics.
Make sure you're unmuted too.
Oh, is he muted? Let's see if we can unmute
He
him.
might have. I don't know.
It looks
He
like
might
he's not.
be,
He's not.
still-
He doesn't have video on, so I'm trying to get him to have
Okay.
the video on.
Here, I'll text him.
So there we go. We got him. What's going on, man?
Little.
Here
Oh
we
wait,
go.
there he is.
I think we got him. What's going on, Tony? How you doing?
He has video
Here.
on. He
We
might not
got
have
video.
audio on.
Looks like we can have audio. We have video, but we don't have audio.
Yes. I wonder if he could hear us.
He's talking. I see him talking. Yo, Sauce, let's have him call into the next segment because we gotta keep going. We gotta keep this going. But Tony, call into the next segment we're gonna do. We can't hear you. I can see you. I can see you moving, but it's like for some reason the audio isn't working.
Oh wait, did you hear that?
I don't hear him.
Okay. We could I'll just tell him to call for the next segment, and
Yeah,
maybe
100%.
if it fix what's going on.
Definitely. So let's get on. We're gonna move on to our next segment. So basically, in this segment, what we're doing, guys, is you choose one player. Any player could be any player in the NBA. You gotta start a franchise. Which player are you starting your franchise with right now? Sauce, who are you going with, my man?
So right now, I get to choose somebody same age, same everything. What they're doing right now. I'm stuck between two players right now, but I think I'm gonna go with, believe it or not, Luka Doncic.
Luka
I'm gonna go with
Doncic.
Luka.
Not
I'm gonna
bad.
go with Luka. I was actually thinking Giannis because Giannis is an obvious choice, of course. And I mean, he's totally young. He's 25. But you look at Luka, he's 21. He's still super, super young. Now, I love Luka for several reasons. First of all, if you're looking at Luka and Giannis, right? Giannis, he has a defense and such, but Luka has the shooting. Luka could shoot. He can space the floor. He can spread the floor. He can shoot the three. The crazy thing is, we know how good Luka has been this year, right? Did you know that Luka's shooting 31% from three? Luka's not actually shooting that well. He's actually shooting pretty below average, actually. And he's doing all these things that he's doing. He's doing this well while being a somewhat below average three-point shooter. So as he gets more accustomed to the league, as he gets better, as he gets, his form going, he's going to get even better and better. I can see 35, 36% at a high clip. You also look at what he's doing with the Mavericks. If I remember correctly, the Mavericks have the single best offensive rating in NBA history this season until, obviously we got canceled because of Corona, always postponed. But you look at what he's been able to do at the age of 21 to lead such an efficient offense, and they have great pieces around them, but they're not stacked or a super team either. A big part of them being so good is because of Luka. Even Porzingis, which has been great, he's also been on and off. He's been completely consistent. He has some stretches where he's like amazing, top 10 player, top 15 player. There's other stretches where like we're just wondering what he's doing. But Luka has been the consistent factor in all of that. He was averaging 29, 9, and 9. There was one point where he was averaging a 29 triple-double until he missed a game because he played 2 minutes and got injured. I think Luka, to me, I would take over Giannis. He's 4 years younger, and he's led such an efficient offense. And we haven't seen it yet, but come playoff time, I mean, Giannis can be stopped. You have to have really good defense, but he can be stopped. I don't know if I can say the same about Luka. He has all those tricks in his bag. So for me, I'm going with Luka Doncic.
Luka's not a bad selection by any means. I feel like this is a guard-oriented league, and I think that when I'm looking at which player I want to start my franchise with, I'm looking at someone where I'm selecting someone based on how easy is it to replace that person. How easy is it to replace that person? This is a guard-oriented league, Sauce. Luka Doncic is a phenomenal player, no doubt. I'm not taking anything away from what he's doing with Dallas. He's an MVP candidate this season, definitely. However, Luka Doncic is a guard. Skilled guard, can shoot from the three, can shoot mid-range, great player. However, I can draft myself another Luka. I can draft myself another guard, another skilled guard. There are tons of guards now in the draft. You look at Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball, etc., etc. The league is flooded by guards, so you can go out in free agency even and sign a guard. So the question then becomes, what can't you sign in the draft? What can't you sign in free agency?
Okay.
Who can't you draft, and what can't you not sign in free agency? Zion Williamson is a freak of nature.
No,
19
you did
years old,
not.
the second heaviest
You
player
did not.
in the league. He has all the intangibles. He has everything you want. How dominant he is over all the other players. Listen, Sauce. Analysts said they tried critiquing Zion Williamson. They said Zion Williamson, he's dominating players at Duke University. How is he? He's not gonna be able to do that against NBA players.
Yeah.
No NBA player has seen someone with the caliber of Zion Williamson, the athleticism that he has. And I'll tell you something else, Sauce. I'll tell you something else. It's not just his glamorous dunks that we all love, because he is a multi-dimensional player. He is an underrated passer, underappreciated passer, and he can knock down the three when he wants to. He is still developing, Sauce. And Luka Doncic, I feel like he's very skilled. He doesn't necessarily have the intangibles. He's not necessarily super athletic. Wow. Zion Williamson hasn't even put it all together yet, okay? He is still 19 years old. He's only played like 11 games. This is awesome. He's played 11 games. He's averaging 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists, Sauce. I'm gonna read some stats to you right now. I'm gonna read 3 player stats to you. Okay?
Okay.
Just give me a minute. I want to play some Zion Williamson highlights
Sure
to accompany my take.
I have a lot of thoughts, so don't worry about that. I have a lot of things to say.
Okay, well,
I'll hold myself.
You ready, Sauce?
Let's hear it.
Luka Doncic, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, rookie year. We're comparing all rookie years.
Okay.
LeBron James, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists on 41% from the field. Luka Doncic was 42% from the field.
Okay.
Zion Williamson, his rookie season, 24 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists on 59% from the field. My man is efficient. He's getting efficient shots. And guess what, Sauce? The New Orleans Pelicans, before Zion Williamson returned, they were 17-27. When Zion Williamson returned January 22nd against the San Antonio Spurs, ever since that day, the Pelicans have been 11-9. So he's putting up these glamoring stats, and the team is winning. And he has the intangibles. You can't replace Zion Williamson. He's a once-in-a-generational talent. He's the next thing. We say that Magic Johnson was the icon in the 1980s. Michael Jordan was that player in the 1990s. Kobe Bryant was that player in the 2000s. LeBron James is that player right now. Who's next? Zion Williamson can be the player for the 2020s.
I love Zion too, and I agree. I think he's actually, even though everyone's talking about him, I think people don't even realize how good he is. Those stats are pretty telling too. 59% is ridiculous, especially the way he gets his shots. He takes very efficient shots, like as you mentioned. This is a tough one. I'm not gonna lie. Zion's 19. He's extremely young himself. Now, to me, and I know it's not a fun thing to talk about, but to me, I look at injury risk with Zion. Zion is great, but he has such an explosive style. Like you look at how explosive he is. I don't even know if his body could keep up with that. I mean, these cuts that he's making, the way that he's like landing on after some of these jumps, it is scary. Now, I agree with a lot of you said. You said in high school, he's dunking on 5'7" dudes in high school. Who cares? Oh shit, college. Oh, oops, sorry. Oh, oops, he's in college. He's dunking on. Oops. College, who cares? He's dunking on people who don't even get paid. Boom, NBA, same thing is happening again. So I agree. I think Zion has been able to get it done no matter what level he goes to. But, I just don't know how long he can keep it up. To me, in some ways, he reminds me of Blake Griffin. I think he's going to be a better Blake Griffin. Don't get me wrong. But I think the same way that Blake had to struggle with injury problems most of his career, I see the same exact thing happen with Zion. And the best part about Luka is that his game is not that based on athleticism. The thing is, that's a good thing. That's a great thing, because the thing is that leads to less injury risk, A, and B, that means that as he gets older, his game will get more refined, more skillful, and he will age like a fine wine. He will only continue to get better, and we saw that athleticism can be overrated, okay? Because you look at Larry Bird, who is an arguably top 5, top 7 player of all time, and he wasn't known to be the most athletic player, okay? So he was still above average, I think, but you don't have to be athletic to dominate in this league.
I'm not saying that you don't have to be athletic, but don't act like athleticism doesn't help you. I mean, athleticism is huge.
It helps.
Like
but
Steph Curry also isn't athletic. That's fine. How about LeBron James? LeBron James is a freak of nature. How about Montrezl Harrell, for example? He's not a superstar, but he uses his physicality. Lots of players in the NBA use their physicality to impose their will on other players. It's not just about having the most skill. Now, Sauce, to get to your other point about Zion Williamson.
Okay.
You're bringing up injuries, and that's valid to some extent. The thing is, Zion Williamson, as I said before, as I mentioned earlier, he has a multi-dimensional game. He's an underrated passer. He's a good playmaker, and he can knock down the three. He's doing that right now. He's done that, his first 11 games in the NBA. So
I think his three's okay.
Or sorry, the last 20 games in the NBA he's been playing. So, and he right now, let's not forget, John Morant was the number one guy. Zion Williamson actually came back into the conversation, even though he was out for the majority of the games. But to get back to your point with the injuries, that is a concern. But if it's my number one player, the player I'm riding and dying with, I want the player with the highest upside. I'm going all in because the NBA is loaded with talent. In today's NBA, you need the player with the highest upside. Luka Doncic is good. He's like this. Right now he's here. He'll go like here. Oh, no, sorry. He's right here. He'll go here.
All right.
Zion Williamson is here. And look, my hand's going off the screen. My hand is leaving the screen. It's still going up because Zion Williamson, the sky's the limit for him. The sky's the limit, bro. So
the crazy thing, Sam, is Luka Doncic is also. He also had that same ceiling too. You know, the
he's
same
not athletic.
ceiling
He
that
doesn't have the
Zion could
intangibles.
achieve.
He's skilled.
Luka could get it there. What intangible? He has leadership. He's very likable. He created great locker room chemistry. You don't have to look at the improvement from the Mavericks either. The Mavericks were not a powerhouse before Luka had his, blossoming. The Mavericks were out of the playoffs 2 seasons ago. And now look at them. They're at 1.4 seed. They dropped down to the 7th seed, but we know they're much better than a 7th seed. There's still a team that people are actually scared of in the playoffs. So if you want to talk about impact, while Zion has impacted the Pelicans, and arguably on a much worse team, of course, the Pelicans, the Mavericks has also seen a huge impact from Luka. So I look at Luka, similar I look at Harden. Harden's able to handle the ball. He's able to pass very well. He's able to shoot the threes. Really tough step-back threes at a respectable clip. I could see Luka blossom into that kind of hybrid player with arguably better footwork, actually, maybe not. But, he has that same pass, and he can work in a great system. And he knows how to, integrate with a system without taking too many shots, too. I think Luka has that same potential that Zion does. He might not have that athleticism, but if you're looking at overall impact, he's right there.
Yeah, so
he's closer already.
So we're gonna open up the live callers coming up. So you guys feel free to call in. I don't know who you guys agree with. Is it Zion Williamson? Is it Luka Doncic? Do you have your own player? Maybe Jason Tatum. Maybe other players too. Maybe Giannis Antetokounmpo, Trae Young. There's a lot of great players that you can choose here. So we're gonna wait for you guys to call in. But Sauce, I just wanted to respond to you real quick.
Okay.
Believe it or not, like it or not, there are things that Zion Williamson can do that Luka Doncic can't do, and that no player ever could do.
Oh.
Zion Williamson is doing that.
Are you?
He's 285 pounds.
Oh my!
He's 6'7". He is. I've never seen athleticism like Zion Williamson.
It's him. Have you watched too much ESPN?
We like to talk about. Sauce. We talk about how the NBA today is so soft, and how no NBA player today can play back in the '90s with MJ. But if I had to choose a player, if I chose a player, I'm choosing Zion Williamson and LeBron. Maybe LeBron number 1, LeBron James number 1, Zion Williamson number 2.
First of all, it's
in terms of athleticism and dominance.
Okay, wait. My dad asked for the invite. Okay. Well, of course, that'd be great. First of all, we're not in the 90s, so that doesn't really matter. Second of all, I would take Giannis over Zion if we're talking about the 90s. And third of all, I kind of forgot my point. Oh, yeah. We have seen a talent like this before, Sam. We have. And the great thing is he's doing the same thing that we're doing. He's talking on sports shows. Charles Barkley was just like Zion, okay? Maybe 2 inches shorter, okay? But Zion and Charles Barkley had the same build. And believe it or not, Charles Barkley was an athletic freak of nature himself, okay? People forget.
Is he a playmaker? Can he knock down threes?
Maybe not. He's actually a trash three-point shooter. But I will say, they think he's just a funny fat guy on TNT. That's not the case. This guy used to be an absolute beast, okay? Now, no, he can't shoot the threes. I think that's kind of a symptom of being a modern player. You know, basically everyone can shoot the three nowadays. Zion has a decent three. I mean, I think it'll develop over time. But if you're good at now, it's respectable. It's not like a weapon, but it's respectable. It's to keep defenses honest, like Giannis. You know, keep it honest. You know, you can't completely hedge like Ben Simmons. Okay, yes, you have to respect it, but it's not really a weapon yet. So, I mean, can he develop that? I think he probably can. 33, 34% three-point shooter probably. But, I mean, like we've seen players like this before. Now you have to get impact. You know, as a player himself, he could be really dominant, but can he have the impact? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I get that. It's definitely a valid concern, Sauce, but we actually have a live caller, so we're going to accept this live caller right now. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's make sure they got on. Let's
oh my
see.
God, it's my mom. Why are they?
Hey, Sandra, you're live with Ballaholics. How are you doing?
Hey, good. How are you guys doing?
We're
doing
doing
pretty
good.
well. We're doing good.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, honey. How are you?
I'm doing good. We had a question for you.
So, Sandra, what do you think? What do you think? If you had to start a NBA franchise with one player, who are you going with?
Oh my God. The list is so long.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite, Tony?
I mean, I hate to say it, but oh boy, it's between a couple players. I would say certainly Michael Jordan is the obvious answer, but I'm trying to not make it Michael Jordan.
Current
Oh, we're
players.
trying to-
Current players.
Current players,
Current players.
who they are like right now. Like whatever stats they are right now, you get that. And then as they get better and better over time.
Okay. I would say LeBron.
But I know Bron's a great choice. He's a bit old, you know. I would say that.
I don't mind.
You're
I
looking
don't
for
mind the
somebody
LeBron
who's
selection.
fresh.
I don't mind the LeBron selection at
Well,
all. I
LeBron
like
can win
it.
a few titles. I mean, there's that.
Yeah.
For
Who's
reference, me and Sam, Samuel picked Zion Williamson,
Okay.
and I picked Luka Doncic.
Yeah, I don't hate the LeBron pick just because if you're picking LeBron James, you want to win now. You have the win now mentality where I'm
Yeah.
looking at the future. I'm saying Zion Williamson is 19 years of age, so I have another 20 years of dominance with Zion Williamson. Where LeBron James is 35, he's descending now. You know, even though he's super, you know, he's age 35, he's still amazing, but he's only going downhill, I feel like. So that's why I
sure.
chose Zion.
Yeah, Zion is the future of the NBA, obviously. Yeah, gotcha.
Oh, so would you rather have Zion or Luka Doncic?
I would say Zion.
Oh, so you agree with Sam? Sam, you got a good caller there.
I take the W there.
I'm getting extra chores for that.
I appreciate the call. You guys look alike too. You guys aren't related, right?
No, who's that guy? Sandra Rim? No, I don't know who that is.
All right, I appreciate you guys calling. Thanks, Sandra.
Thanks for
Anytime,
calling.
guys. Good
Thanks for
luck.
calling.
Take care.
Oh, hey, they were talking, Sam. All right.
I'm not the one who hang up, or did I? Did I?
Yes. Yeah.
Sauce, as Luke Fiasco once said, the show must go on.
I guess it must.
It must go on, Sauce. So we're going to move on from the franchise starter. We're going to go on to one of my favorite NBA segments we're doing today. I'm surprised all the viewers, I feel like, aren't watching anymore, but this is the best one in my opinion because in this one, we get to change history, Sauce. So we get to rewrite the book.
Oh,
Obviously, free agents, NBA free agents, they become free agents, and then they go and they choose a team to play for. And, you know, they choose, and it's their decision. But we're bringing the decision onto our hands. So we actually get to rewrite the script on where players want to sign. So, Sauce, if you could change any past free agency signing anywhere, who would it be and where?
We're talking all time, a free agent decision I can reverse.
Let's try and keep it the last decade.
Okay, recently.
last decade.
Oh, Sam. If I could do this, I would be thanked by tens of millions of NBA fans because nearly every single NBA fan will agree with me on this. I would reverse the KD to Golden State free agency signing. Now, Sam, you can't hate this call. I know you probably even feel the same way because we knew that after KD signed to Golden State, that at least for the next 2 years, there's no debate. It's a foregone conclusion. The Golden State Warriors are going to win. I love Stephen Curry. I like the Golden State Warriors. Like, great. I'm happy they won, but man, the manner that they won it in, I feel like just left a sour taste in the league. I mean, you have KD going to a 73-9 team, the winningest regular season of all time, to the team he lost to. That's the worst part. They lost to this Golden State team. And the worst of it, they were up 3-1 too. So we're talking about chokes. They were up 3-1. The thing is, KD said that he couldn't win with these cats. He was on Twitter on his burner profiles and he couldn't win with the cats. He had Russell Westbrook. He had Serge Ibaka. They were about to get Al Horford. That was a great team, okay? He could have won with those cats. Was KD the best player on the team? Of course. There's no debate about that. But if he won one title with the Oklahoma City Thunder, that would be way more meaningful than his 2 titles with Golden State. And he will always have an asterisk on his career. Maybe in 45 years, we might forget about it. But at least for the next 10, 15 years, anytime we talk about KD, we'll talk about that one decision that he made. And the last point I want to make is that KD, 2 weeks after he made the decision, he talked to his coach, he talked to his agent, and he said, "Why the F did you let me make this decision?" He said, "Why the hell did you let me do this decision?" Because he himself knew what of a villain he became. So no, he did not take the hardest road. He took an easy road for championships, maybe a hard road for his reputation. But in the end, if I could reverse that, we have 2017 Cavs versus either the Thunder or the Golden State, and we're looking at all of history, LeBron's history, KD's history, Steph Curry's history, differently. So Sam, what would you reverse?
Well, first, before I say what I would reverse, I just want to get to your point.
Okay.
I actually don't agree with what you said about. I do agree with yours. I think that's a good one. But you said that Kevin Durant took the easy road out.
Yes.
I don't believe he took the easy road out because, like you said, his reputation took a major hit. To have the balls, to have the kushkas, to join a 73-win team that just demolished you, that just came back from a 3-1 lead in the NBA Conference Finals, that undoubtedly takes guts. Now,
but
I don't like that move for 2 reasons.
I don't want to interrupt you.
You good.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I just want to say, to me, it didn't really seem like it took a cojones move. To be honest, it kind of sounded like he went to the team that just beat him.
So I'll say it again. Repeat. I couldn't hear you.
To me,
Audio.
Oh, sorry. So, is it better now?
Try
Okay,
again.
so to me, I thought it was more of a... Okay, is it good now?
Yes.
Dang, I don't know what's going on with my audio.
You're good.
But to me, it was more of a cowardly move than a brave move. Okay, while he did, go against the media, and he knew that people were going to hate him, I thought it would take way more guts to stick with his Oklahoma City team, win one with his homegrown team. You saw what LeBron James did for Cleveland. He could have done the Oklahoma City equivalent of that. And to me, that would have been amazing.
Actually, I do agree with what you said, Sauce. Unfortunately, it's looking like our Zoom call is running out of time. We have 7 minutes left. So Christopher Ramp is calling, and I don't know if you know him, Sauce, but we're going to have to change the Zoom link. So actually what we're going to do is I'm going to allow Chris Ramp to just voice his opinion real quick because once we change Zoom links, he won't be able to get on our live call. So I'm going to wait to say my pick. We're going to accept this call from Christopher Ramp.
Sounds perfect.
See. What's going on, Chris Ramp? You're live with Ballaholics. How you doing, my man?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up?
I heard you guys got a question.
Yeah.
So our question is, Christopher, if you can go back in time and change any free agency decision from any player, what would you change?
Whoa.
Good one.
Wow. That is a good one. I'm a Knicks fan, so it's going to be probably LeBron going to the Knicks instead of Miami. Take his talents to MSG.
I share your pain, Chris. I share your pain.
He's also a Knicks fan.
I share your pain.
Terrible how they did this. Or maybe the second one would probably be Jeremy Lin staying in New York.
That's a good one.
I mean, Lin Sandy was ridiculous. Some videos on that, like 10-year anniversary. I mean, he was crappy with Houston, but I think with the energy in New York, he probably could have done a lot better. Maybe average 18 instead of 13. Just saying.
Yeah, I agree. I think he fed off that
Yeah.
energy in MSG. I think he shined in the limelight.
He had
you
like
know?
that
Yeah.
13-game run where it was ridiculous.
Oh, my-
He scored 38 on Kobe. Come on.
Oh my
Yeah, that
god.
was insane.
And that game winner in Toronto.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. I mean,
You know,
the
and
problem with Lynn was his turnovers, but I think that's why the Knicks didn't give him like maximum amount of money. But that was the biggest mistake by the Knicks. But
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think if you look at the New York Knicks perspective, how much of a desirable location did the Knicks look after that? I mean, you look at all the stardom and all the publicity and all the popularity that Jimmy
yeah, I think
Lin
that was the
got.
last time
Who
he
wouldn't
made the
want that?
playoffs too.
Yeah, exactly. Who wouldn't want that? I like that choice a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I see that point for sure. I think I agree with it at the end, but you also have to take into consideration. I feel like any point guards that play under Mike D'Antoni, their stats mysteriously get pumped up. So like James Harden's stats ever since Mike D'Antoni, took the role as head coach for the Houston Rockets, we've seen James Harden's, basically the ball handlers, their stats inflate a little bit. I feel like so. I do believe that Jeremy Lin is a good player, and I think in hindsight I agree with you. I think that I would keep him, but I question that part of it because Mike D'Antoni was the head coach. Maybe it was because of Mike D'Antoni's system he ran in New York.
Right. Plus, Jeremy Lin did flourish when Carmelo was on the bench and Stoudemire was on the bench. I mean, remember Steve Novak, that guy?
Oh, my favorite Nick of all time.
Oh my God.
My favorite
Like,
Nick of
where
all
did he
time.
come from?
Novocaine.
Yeah, like Lin starts and all of a sudden Novak's hitting threes like crazy. He's getting the ball, so gotta love that.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite players for sure.
Yeah.
But, Chris, I share your pain as a Knicks fan. I really do share your pain as a Knicks fan. It hurts a lot.
Still, yeah.
Gets me in the heart.
But going back to LeBron, though, imagine LeBron in New York. What that would have done.
That would have been amazing.
I mean, the NBA is popular now, but imagine LeBron in New York, the media capital of the world. It would have been next level. He would have. I mean, they're probably, because New York hypes everything up. He probably could be considered the greatest player ever.
Yeah, and I feel like New York, a lot of players get scared of going because of the media. New York just amplifies how you are in real life. So if you're bad, you're gonna be terrible. If you're good, you're gonna be amazing. So it just amplifies what you are. And I think maybe that's why Kevin Durant and Kyrie were too scared to go because maybe deep down they didn't have full confidence in themselves and they knew if it blew up, they would get taunted, they would get yelled at by fans and everything. LeBron James though, if he went, oh my God, he might be in the conversation. Like there might be a legitimate case for LeBron over Michael Jordan just because of how many people are the spotlight that's on him in New York. So I agree with you there.
That's a great point you brought up about New York magnifying everything. I mean, I remember before going to Miami, LeBron was known for the guy that didn't win a championship. Like my favorite joke about LeBron back then was, why can't LeBron change a dollar? He has no fourth quarter. That was my favorite joke. LeBron had no fourth quarter. He wasn't known as a winner,
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if LeBron with the Knicks makes the playoffs every year, but doesn't win the big one. He would have probably been vilified more than everybody else. Maybe that's the reason why he never came to New York was the pressure. Like you said earlier, Sam. Look at A-Rod. A-Rod was like the best player, home run hitter, and he was always being criticized for not showing up in the playoffs. So would LeBron go through the same thing in New York where he's vilified for not winning it?
Maybe. I think honestly, maybe the first series, like he did against the Mavericks, many say he choked. So I think the first series, maybe the first year he would have trouble. But I think it would be growing pains, but I think he would eventually overcome it just because of his stature, just because of the greatness of LeBron James. And Chris, I'm sorry to say this, I'm sorry to cut you off, but our Zoom meeting time is running out, so we have a minute left. So I'm gonna have to disconnect you. But I really appreciate you calling.
Good talk, guys.
I hope you call in the
See you
future.
later.
Appreciate you, Chris.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Thanks for coming.
Good talk. See ya.
Good talk.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do, guys. So we anticipated this was gonna happen. So what we did for you guys is we're gonna put on, a nice it's not a commercial or advertisement, but we're gonna put on some highlights for you guys. It's gonna be the NBA biggest bloopers. So we're gonna put on that video for you guys. We're gonna throw it up, and we'll be back in a couple minutes with you guys. But for now, I want you guys to enjoy a little video, a little NBA bloopers video for you guys. Check it out.
Shoulder. got to see this one again. Donovan, I think, is chuckling a bit. Oh, that's what Joe's laughing about.
Now it's Hart. And Josh Hart has to worry about the contact. Hart just lost the bat. Oh, and then put it into his own chin.
Boy, and B not expecting the pass.
And now New York not taking some ill-advised shots.
This is right here. Boom, right there. Wow.
Oh, Torres. Oh, he missed the dunk. That ricochets all the way back underneath the Jazz basket. Did he hurt himself? He wound that one up.
He's fighting with Tucker and missed it.
That's a big guy battle for sure as Westbrook going around in a circle. Lost it.
Oh, this is not funny. Free throws are harder than they look, America. Yeah, what is wrong? Close that door. You got a Shaqtin' on the pronunciation. Yeah, hey man, it's entrepreneur. That's close enough, man.
Shoot it, confident player, smart. Really liked him in summer league. Feel for the game. Here he is, Kobe. Kobe. Kentavious Caldwell Pope, the greenest of green lights.
Cam Reddish changes hands. What a spin move! What a shot! Gives it up to Lou Williams, and a steal. PJ all the way to the bucket, and he missed it. My goodness. Nice return back. Oh, that was good. Oh, no.
Move, Bam did, but he just didn't finish.
Caldwell Pope goes around, Dragic all the way, laid up, Rose, an air ball layup.
Blasting up the floor, Temple. Up high, Jordan could not convert.
Williamson inside and one.
Bring him in and take him right back out. 33 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds. It's been fun to watch.
Want to see a little replay. Bam! That's right, I'm strong. Oh, but look, Jackson just kind of moves to the back and like, can I get some attention? I'm not going to sit next to you anymore.
5 of 8 from the field, 15 points, 4 rebounds, and they'll just dribble it out.
Generation, Trae Young just kind of over it. Watch as the chair goes by, his reaction, he's just like, all right, whatever.
Now this kid,
And that kid.
and this kid, Darko Fall.
So on this Taco Tuesday, here's DeMarcus Cousins. Lakers are going to give their fans tacos. And that's what they're chanting.
Look at LeBron.
James Harden said he's going to break out a new move this season, and here it is. A one-legged three.
Thompson recoups it. Now Simmons, a smart play here because Thompson is forced to handle with the shot clock running down. There's Thompson wildly throwing it up.
Step up from last year. Second unit struggled at times to score. That's been addressed by Trey Burke and a number of others. Look out below. Someone go deep.
I love the way Jabari Parker plays, man. He had 8 seconds. What are you doing? Fella thought he was fouled, didn't get a whistle, and Doncic throws it into the third row. At least he's laughing about it. He's got a great personality. That's what fans like, I got to say. And that made me really enjoy their run.
Well, you got to catch lightning in a bottle.
2 seconds saved the sun, didn't it?
But they've got to go to work quickly here. Booker on the drive and dish.
Who was he passing that to?
I'm not sure.
I mean, an abundance of
Clippers players down in the corner.
But the abundance of Clipper players over
4
there.
minutes in. So other guys are going to have to step up. When you're missing 29 points, backdoor lob, not even close by Rodney Hood.
Plumlee, Grant, Morris, Hernan Gomez, and Porter. Oh, well, Jonas tried behind the head pass, and that didn't work too well.
Shorts inside. Pass by Johnson.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, once you send it, I'll be good. Hey, can you hear me? Okay, perfect.
We good. All right, here we go. All right, guys, so we are back. We got that problem fixed. We have a new Zoom call. I hope you guys enjoyed the NBA bloopers. Let us know what your favorite ones were. We'd like to hear them. You know, I watched the video before. So basically, since we made a new Zoom call, I want you guys who are watching to listen closely to the instructions I'm about to give you, okay? So basically, the instructions on how to call in terms of dialing, the first step, you dial 646-568-7788. That is the same number. So you call that number again. Now, from step 2, you have to dial the meeting ID. Now, the meeting ID has changed. It is no longer 871 blah, blah, blah. The meeting ID is going to be, it's going to be the following. 897 0574 0988. And I'm going to write that down in the YouTube comments. But the meeting ID, it's changed to 897 0574 0988. So that's the meeting ID you're going to put for step 2 when they ask for the meeting ID when you call the first number. After you put in the meeting ID, they're then going to ask for a numerical password. The numerical password is 266842. 266842. I'm going to put this all in the YouTube comments to make it easier for you guys, just in case you guys didn't catch that. So I'm going to do that right now, actually. So Sauce, what do you think of that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I texted everybody else the code and stuff too. So
I'm going to write that down real quick in the meeting ID. So, 897. So Sauce, go on with your pick. Go on with your pick. Let's hear your pick real quick.
Oh, the Kevin Durant thing?
A recap. Yeah, let's do a recap.
Oh yeah, quick recap though. I would love the Kevin Durant trade to be reversed. Maybe he stays with Thunder. If he goes to the Wizards, that'd be awesome too. But just not Golden State basically. I mean, I would rather him stay with Thunder. Again, 2 really easy rings when it comes down to just basketball terms, and it kind of ruined the NBA for 2 years. Maybe even hurt LeBron's legacy. And in some ways it helps it because I always it was such a good team. It's like who could beat that team, But at the end of the day, it hurts KD's legacy, hurts Curry's legacy a bit. I mean, maybe they wouldn't get titles at all.
Curry's legacy gets hurt in this? What did Curry do wrong?
Because he's going to always be viewed as a second fiddle on those super teams. Because he had 0 finals MVPs.
Curry was the engine of the team, Sauce.
I agree. I think he is too. I think Curry's actually the more impactful player. But a lot of people are going to see those 0 finals MVPs and then going to think that Curry was not the main reason that happened. I mean, the main reason KD was getting all these easy shots was he was getting one-on-one when Curry was still getting doubled and triple teams. But at the end of the day, you could argue that maybe that even hurt Curry in a way. But 3 titles doesn't hurt either. But yeah. I just wish that was just not the place he went to. It hurts KD's legacy a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
two Finals MVPs is great, but you will never be able to take that stain away.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree with you, Sauce, on that. But I do believe Curry was the engine of that team, and I would have liked to see Kevin Durant go to the Celtics in that scenario that you did, because there was speculation. Kevin Durant apparently came out and said, I remember hearing this, that if he wasn't going to Golden State, he was going to Boston, and he went to the Hamptons. If you recall, he actually went to the Hamptons for his free agency pitches, and Tom Brady actually pitched him and left a great impression on Kevin Durant. So I wanted to just note that. Now, in terms of your move of Kevin Durant, you said that Kevin Durant going to the Warriors, that's the move that you would change out of any former free agent. And I agree with you for these two reasons. Number one, not only did Kevin Durant going to the Golden State Warriors make them so above everyone else, not only did it just make them a tier above everyone else, way above everyone else.
Ridiculous.
Because it's an unbeatable team. But in the process, it actually eliminated OKC Thunder. It eliminated their biggest rival. Because if the Warriors weren't going to win, the OKC Thunder were right there with Kevin Durant. So not only did you now, push this Golden State Warriors team, you elevate them to like God status, in terms of teams, but you eliminate a contender in OKC. And as an NBA fan, we love competition. We live and die for competition. My number two problem with this move was that I feel like it may have set an undesirable precedent in the NBA.
Oh, I hope not, but yes.
I'm hopefully not, but we saw as possible with Kawhi Leonard going to the Lakers. There were reports that Kawhi Leonard was set on going to LA Lakers. However, Magic Johnson ultimately derailed that just because he went out to the media. He started leaking to the media that Kawhi Leonard was going to sign there. But imagine if Kawhi Leonard went to the Lakers. So I feel like Kevin Durant may have now created this undesirable precedent, and people will say LeBron James going to Miami, that's what caused the precedent. That's not true, because Miami didn't, LeBron James didn't join a 73-win team that he just lost to. But Sauce, I want to get on to my point real quick with my move. So if I could change any free agency move in the past, that's the question. It has to be James Harden going to the Rockets.
Wow, that's surprising.
James Harden signing with the Rockets, because man, we got robbed of one of the greatest dynasties, one of the greatest potential dynasties there could have been in the NBA. And they're all homegrown players. James Harden, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, all drafted by the OKC Thunder. It wasn't like Kevin Durant was joining it wasn't like one of them was joining a different team. They got traded there, or, no, these guys were all home fed, okay, Sauce? James Harden was the sixth man of the year in 2012, and he was amazing off the bench. And they had Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook starting, so he had to take that role. He had to humble himself down. And the fact that OKC couldn't show him appreciation by giving him the max deal at that time, the max deal at that time, Sauce, was $59.5 million. $59.5 million is the max. They offered him $55 million. That's $4 million difference.
$4 million. Why are you penny pinching? Yeah, why are you penny pinching at that point?
So at that point, it's like the principle of it. If you're someone like James Harden, you want appreciation to be shown your way, that you came off the bench and you were a very you were a huge contributor to that team. And not only did they not even offer him, it wasn't like they offered him $40 million. Like, it was a huge disparity. It was so
you couldn't go that last. Yeah.
So close. So I feel like for that regard, like they just lost a potential dynasty there. And James Harden went to the Rockets. We all know what happened when he went to Houston. They made the playoffs every single season. An 8-time consecutive NBA All-Star from 2013 all the way to 2020.
Ridiculous.
A 2-time scoring champion. Averaged 36 points one season. And let's say you look at that OKC team. Think about this, Sauce. If they would have stayed together, Kevin Durant won the MVP in 2014. Russell Westbrook won it in 2017.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook won it in 2018. You're telling me that team's not going to win a title? They're not going to win a ring?
Yeah, and I'll say, again, to your point, we all know Harden was more than good enough to start. It was strictly a basketball. I mean, he played, I think, third most minutes on the team or fourth most. So we know he was more than good enough to start. But he chose to come off of the bench for team reasons. He knew it would fit better for the team itself. And he was okay with that, And if he's a star, and he's willing to delegate, the team got to show some reciprocation with that. And he saw, like you said, that if they gave him the full max, I guarantee he would have stayed. But he didn't feel appreciated. And it's like, you penny pinching $5 million. How many millions of dollars did that lose in revenue if they became champions? You know, how many T-shirts could you have sold? How many hardened bobblehead figures with a beard on it could you have sold? You know, and to me that's a shame because I would have loved that because of the homegrown talent, like you said.
Small market team, Sauce. Small market team. It's not like it's Miami and New York.
Small market too, yeah.
Oklahoma City.
And like post Seattle Supersonics, that would have been awesome to get a ring. Like after they had to lose the other franchise, then this new franchise, NBA fans are kind of hesitant to like them because of Seattle. I mean, now it's better, but at the time, it's like Seattle. We kind of had a sore taste in our mouth because we're still thinking about Seattle. We're sad that we lost Seattle because such a great city, such a great whole team dynamic. And then it's like, wow, Thunder winning it kind of solidifies their, they deserve to be in the NBA. The one thing I want to say though, I agree, it's all homegrown talents. But my thing is, same thing with Golden State. You look at Steph Curry, drafted by Golden State. They trusted him with that extension. Klay Thompson drafted with Golden State. Draymond Green drafted with Golden State.
Say it again, Sauce. We lost connection real quick. Say it one more time.
So that's also why.
Repeat.
Yeah, sure thing. So like I said, homegrown talent. I had the same problem with Golden State and Cade decision because you look at Stephen Curry. They gave that contract extension. They believed in an all-star, and he became an MVP. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Did it cut out?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, good. Just checking. My video was lagging. Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, same exact thing. They became all-stars under the system. So I would have loved that, even though people hated on Golden State for 73-9, you can't hate on them that much because they were organically made, and that's the same reason why you're upset about OKC. I'm upset about Golden State. So that's my only gripe with the whole thing.
It's crazy because when James Harden departed from Oklahoma City, Russell Westbrook was 22 years old, James Harden was 23 years old, Kevin Durant was 23 years old, and they made it to the NBA Finals. Who would have known at that time in 2012 that would have been the furthest the Oklahoma City Thunder, went?
Yeah.
And also, it's like they could have changed. They could have chose to get rid of Kendrick Perkins and keep James Harden. Like it was a no-brainer.
That's crazy.
It was a no-brainer, Sauce.
But
keep in mind also,
I want to ask you a quick question, Sam, because there might have been some upsides to that him leaving. Do you think James Harden would have either became the player he is today if he didn't leave the Rockets, or he would have got the appreciation that he did today if he didn't leave the Rockets? Because now we know how good he is. But if he was playing, they could say, oh, he got carried by KD and Russ, and they had a stacked team. But now we see how good he is, basically solo. We can see how good Harden is. Do you think he would have got that same appreciation or development as a player if he didn't leave?
I think that's a good question. I believe that at the end of the day, I think he would have blossomed into a fantastic player, no doubt. I think he would have been a star. I don't know if he would have been at this stature, at this level of excellence. I think maybe eventually, maybe down the road, after they would have won a couple titles, maybe James Harden would have opted to leave. Maybe Kevin Durant would have wanted to leave. Maybe they may have wanted to go their separate ways. Maybe. But just give them one ring or give them 2 rings because we got no rings. Like, they got no rings. And I feel like that's just terrible. This is a team that demolished the Dallas Mavericks, who were the reigning champions with Dirk Nowitzki in 2012. And then they went on, they beat the Kobe Bryant Lakers, then went on and beat the Spurs with Tim Duncan. So they had a hard, imagine if that team stuck together, Sauce, just for another couple of years. I don't even know if Kevin Durant leaves, because let's not forget, Kevin Durant said in a couple, I don't know if he was being completely honest, Sauce, but he did say OKC had no skilled players.
Oh, come on.
So James Harden is a skilled player. James Harden, Russell Westbrook, you can argue because James Harden is
Russell Westbrook too.
Russell Westbrook is an athletic beast. So he drives to the rim. Maybe he's skilled, he can't shoot. Maybe he's not amazing at shooting and intelligence, IQ. But James Harden has all those skilled attributes. So I think that would have completely extinguished Kevin Durant's excuse. He would have no excuse. So I think that Kevin Durant stays. I think that they all stay together for a couple of years. Maybe now in 2020, one of them leaves. But I think they stay together for the long haul. Kevin Durant's not a free agent. Think about this, Sauce. If James Harden resigns for a 5-year max, Kevin Durant is the first free agent in 2016. So that's 4 more years we get to see with that young squad with Harden, KD, and Russell Westbrook.
True. Maybe he never leaves.
Exactly. Looking in, we want to see if you guys want to call in. I heard that some people want to call in. Derek, I heard you guys want to call in. So I put the meeting ID, the new meeting ID, and the new password It's in the YouTube caption. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your phone, call the first number. That didn't change. The number one step, the Zoom phone call, that's the same step, guys. Put that in. Then it's gonna ask for your meeting ID. Put in the new meeting ID shown in the caption I put it in, and then number 3, put in the password, and you will be on Zoom with us, and we'll be able to get you guys on the show. So definitely wait for you guys. Excited for you guys to tune in and get on the show for that.
Z and Derek, man, it's been mad long.
It's been mad long since the finale.
Yeah, it'd be awesome if it could come on.
100%, man, 100%. And of course, yeah, go on.
Oh, sorry. So I was gonna say, just on your point though, I mean that would have changed NBA history though if they did stick together, like you said for OKC, because that team had everything you needed. You know, they had the defense, they had the length, they had the offense. Like if they were able to play a team, I mean, you can even argue if Scott Brooks wasn't the coach, they would have won a title anyway, because you know a lot of their offense was kind of like down to ISO at the end. Like that team had everything you needed, and yeah, I think KD was literally what Steph Curry is now, where everyone loves Steph Curry. He's the golden boy. Kevin Durant was that too. And the funniest thing is, I don't know if you heard about this, but KD was jealous of the media attention that Steph Curry got in Golden State. Because Golden State had all that favorable media. Everyone loved him. Anywhere you go, it's Steph Curry, Steph Curry, Steph Curry. Even though KD's putting up even probably better numbers, it's still Steph Curry, right? That was KD. He was the media's darling. I don't know if people remember that, but he was the media's darling. Nobody hated KD. You know, everyone loved KD when he was still in Oklahoma. He was like that kid. You know, he donated back to his city. He was a great player. He had that amazing 2014 MVP speech, one of the best speeches I've ever heard. Like,
amazing speech.
Amazing. Speech. Like, great memes from that too. You know, you the real MVP. I mean, just so many reasons to love him. And it's crazy that the one move changed his status probably forever. So I would love to see, you know, even looking forward, what he does with Brooklyn. You know, maybe he could. I think if he does win one in Brooklyn, that really brings him back. Same way LeBron got kind of brought back with Cleveland, you know. So I'd be excited to see that though. Hopefully it happens.
100%. I agree with you there. And of course another free agency selection, you know, another change I would make. I'm biased. I have a conflict of interest. I'm a Knicks fan. I know I should be talking about all of NBA. I shouldn't just have the Knicks perspective, but I can't help it. LeBron James 2012, as Chris said, LeBron James going to New York. I think we would have won, because I think wherever LeBron James goes, he instantly turns that team into a title contender.
I agree. I think you guys would have got at least one chip.
Yeah, and then who knows? Maybe Melo joins after that. Maybe Melo requests the trade, and then you have LeBron and Melo on the same team. And I really do believe, you know, some people may say that LeBron and Melo wouldn't be good on the same team, but I think they would be excellent, because LeBron James takes more of a facilitator role, and Carmelo Anthony is one of the best scorers in the NBA, in NBA history, one of the best scorers in all 100%. The NBA. And I feel bad for Melo, because he's in the same draft class. He has to share that same draft class with LeBron James. What can you do? You know, you're getting compared to God. No one's God, you know?
Yeah.
Except for the God
Michael
himself.
Jordan. Yeah, and also God himself. But I was gonna say, I agree with you though. I'm thinking like Melo in that role would be awesome. Like look at LeBron and Kyrie. How synergistic was that? Like that kind of dynamic, you know, where KD or Kyrie could take over for certain quarters. LeBron could like facilitate, he could rest. And he was playing better defense in the Cavs because he'd have to do the full offensive burden when he had Kyrie.
Yeah, I agree. And actually, now it looks like we have a live caller.
Awesome.
Let's see. Sauce, what are your odds? Is it Z or Derek?
Oh, you know, I'm going to go Derek. I'm going to go Derek.
I'm going with Z. I think it's Z. You think Derek. Let's go. Let's check it out. What's going on? You're live with Ballaholics.
What's going on?
How you doing?
Good.
Awesome, man. Just state your name, where you from. Oh, is it Mike again?
Yeah, Mike.
Oh, I thought it was Mike. No. He sounds that familiar.
Mike, we had bets because a couple of our other friends want to call in Z and Derek, but that's pretty funny. It was you. We both lost. Mike,
lost.
What do you think, Mike? If you can go back in time and just like rewrite history and change any free agency move, what are you doing?
Well, I got a big one that either of you might have thought about or not really considered.
Oh.
I mean, I know for me, I want to see a Kobe versus LeBron finals. So I'm thinking the CP3 to the Lakers getting vetoed. Let that happen. So Kobe and LeBron can have a finals. And in turn, maybe OKC doesn't make the finals in 2012. So KD ends up not leaving because he's trying to prove to himself that, you know, he can take that team to a finals. So then
Sorry,
there's no
say it
Golden
again?
State dynasty either.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, Mike. I was zoning out for a sec. I was trying to text Z. What was your selection again?
The CP3 to the Lakers being vetoed.
Oh.
Having that not vetoed.
That was a good one. That was a really good one.
That's an interesting one. Sauce, what do you think about that?
I think that's a really cool one. I actually didn't think about that. I mean, that's a great one because it would have got vetoed. I mean, like, how often do you see that? It would have got denied. I mean, of course, the league owned the team, so it's like fair and stuff like that. But I can't believe it got denied. And seeing a Kobe versus like LeBron in the finals would have been amazing. That would have ended a lot of debates because whoever won would have been always seen as superior. I would have liked to see that too. I mean, I'd still hedge more for KD because I really like that. But I mean, CP3 and KD or Kobe on the same team is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. I
CP3
agree with that. Yeah, because I mean, we would have seen Kobe Bryant and LeBron James at that point with Chris Paul and Kobe Bryant on the same team. I really believe that David Stern robbed all of us NBA fans of that matchup that we were all dying to see. Kobe Bryant versus LeBron James, the baton, because Kobe Bryant was the player in the 2000s and LeBron James is that player now. So to see them go up against each other would be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That would have been like a legends battle. Who's passing the torch? Is Kobe holding on to it? So we'll see about that. But I think if that did happen, I did think Kobe would have won that finals. I think with CP3, I mean, that team would just be ridiculous. But that would have been really cool to see. Just the one-on-ones and stuff. The fadeaways and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Mike, what do you think? You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I say that goes to a 7-game series, and it's whoever gets the last shot.
Oh, with the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors now.
I don't know for if the CP3 went for the Lakers, and it would have been Lakers.
Oh, for the Lakers and LeBron in the Heat
finals.
Oh, would it go to 7? Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
7. Yeah, that would.
I mean, hey, if it's the first year LeBron James joins Miami, if the Lakers beat Dallas, I don't know when. I forgot when the trade exactly was, but if it was the first season that LeBron James went, to the NBA Finals with the Miami Heat, I have the Lakers winning. But after that, I think LeBron James was finally able to elevate himself and become clutch. So after that, I'd say it's LeBron James and the Miami Heat.
Yeah, I also said that for the trade because I think it was in 2011, so I don't think Dallas would have been there. So maybe LeBron plays, up to the competition. He doesn't, not show up.
Yeah, against Kobe, you got to bring it your A game.
Yeah, I agree with that, Mike. Really appreciate you calling in once again, man.
Yep, you got it. No problem.
You've been our best caller so
Mike.
far, so you've been our best caller. So keep up the good work.
Hey, what? Talking shit?
Peace out, Mike.
Peace.
All right. Take it easy, Sam. Take it easy, Sauce.
Yo, take it easy.
Yeah, so it looks like Z and Derek weren't able to call in. I'm not sure if they're facing difficulties because it's not an easy process. So, but it looks like that. I mean, it looks like I'm done. Honestly, it looks like we're done. You say
awesome.
Kevin Durant. You say Kevin Durant.
I still go on that hill.
Warriors, and of course, I'm going with James Harden never leaving OKC because that dynasty could have been amazing, man.
Yes, I'll say both good picks. I mean, your pick could have even influenced my pick, so both good picks.
Exactly. That's what I liked about it. Really appreciate you guys watching. If you made it this far, you guys have been great. You guys called in today. We had a lot of amazing live callers.
4 calls or 5 calls. That's awesome, man.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We had Chris. We had Sandra. We did pretty well. Mike?
Sandra, Tony, Uncle Chris. We got Mike twice. Like, that's awesome.
If only my family called in, Sauce.
Hey, you get the next
they
time.
Don't like me.
Harry, man, you gotta get Harry out here.
Appreciate you guys tuning in once again. If you haven't done so already, be sure to show some love. Follow our Instagram, Ballaholics _BTV6. Appreciate you guys tuning in once again, and appreciate you guys calling in. We're gonna have another show next week, hopefully. Actually, we also have someone else. We're having an interview with a NCAA player from Georgia State. I'm not sure if I told Sauce about this next week. So
this is a genuine reaction.
We're gonna get that on the podcast for you guys. That won't be a live one, but we'll be back live next week. If you guys have any feedback, let us know. If you want to contact me for any inquiries, any suggestions, hit me up. My email is Sisreal, Israel at the country, 3 at binghamton.edu. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a good one.
Thank you, Sam. Good show.